Well, th thank you for that, and I truly appreciate being a partner of yours for what now seems to be, I think, close to 8 to 10 years, assisting the chamber and you now with your international awareness programs. And Rachel over the years has done a wonderful job in locating wonderful destinations to travel to as a group, and travel to as part of what I call an international awareness program, as part of a delegation with the chamber to go to warm and inviting American friendly destinations, different than home, with cultural connections and traditions, yeah, far removed from the home location. And in 2024, it's no different. We're heading to Ireland. Ireland is probably one of the warmest destinations in the world. And I don't mean warm as in beach weather, suntan, sun cream and such, that the people are lovely. They're warm and inviting. They're willing to find out about your life, share their life with you. And yes, they are wonderful, wonderful people. Now, in a moment with the ADA slides, we're going to head out to Ireland. We're going to briefly discuss about the program. We'll see Dublin, Cork, Killarney, Galway. We'll head up into Belfast and into Northern Ireland. We'll leave Europe behind and head into the United Kingdom, and see a wonderful, wonderful program from the comfort of your armchair or your home or your office. Now, with the ADA slides, we're going to go through the program. We're going to go through it briefly because we could still be speaking about the program tomorrow if we go into depth. If I may ask a favor of you, please, if you're online, and I see lots of you online, and thank you all for muting yourselves. You're all well zoomed. I promise before we leave today, I will answer all your questions to the best of my ability. If I can't answer it, I'll come back with the correct answer. But as we go through the presentation, please feel free to drop in the chat button, which is in the toolbar, any questions that you may have. I'll read them and we'll go through them at the end and answer all those questions. Okay. And so without further ado, why don't we head out and head to Ireland. And what this program is going to bring to you is culture and tradition, far different than what we have in the United States. We've got emerald green scenery, lakes, moors, heather, plantations. You've got a warm and inviting, friendly people, and you've got a whole host of people, which is an annual event. People from the Greater Reading Traveling Group on a wonderful program, like-minded individuals traveling together for fun and adventure. What we'll find is day one, we'll find ourselves departing out of New York. Now, we also have round-trip bus transportation included in the program. As long as we get a minimum of 20 people, which has never been an issue in the past, we've got the round-trip bus transportation out of Reading included in the program. Just one less thing to think about. And day two, there'll be an overnight flight. It's a relatively short overnight flight, around about a 6-hour trip. And day two, welcome to everything green, the land of the leprechaun, the land of the green postbox. When you go to Northern Ireland, it will be red all of a sudden because we're in the United Kingdom. But everything green, and welcome to Dublin, the cosmopolitan capital of Éire, or the Republic of Ireland. And here we are in O'Connell Street. Here's our itinerary. Into Dublin, one night in Dublin, down to Cork, and 2 nights in Cork, over to the Killarney area, where we'll be staying, heading up into Galway and then back into Dublin. For those people interested, we'll be continuing on into Belfast for our extension. As soon as we arrive in Dublin, we'll be up and at it, and part of our tour will be upon us immediately. We'll be arriving historically in the morning, between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. And obviously, hotels are not open at that stage. So we'll start our touring in earnest with our tour director and driver. And we'll be transferring all our way into the hotel, and our Dublin city tour will be there. We'll see O'Connell Street, the heart. We'll see Customs House. We'll see Grafton Street, and we'll see the statue of Molly Malone, who sold cockles and mussels and other things, which we won't mention on a webinar, but you'll be able to find out when you get there. And we'll see the Temple Bar District. We'll also learn about it's a wonderful interactive explanation. It's called Epic Island. Epic Island is all island, everything island, from the potato famine all the way through to famous movie stars, presidents, pop stars, and the migration to the US as well. And it's a great introduction into our island program. Check into the hotel that evening, and those people who traveled with us before, you know that we always have first-class centrally located hotels. Those hotels we're constantly negotiating and trying to get the best possible hotels for you, but centrally located first-class hotels on all our programs. First night, relax, take it easy. Maybe head down to the Temple Bar District, go learn about the local soccer team, the local rugby team, how they did. Have a pint of Guinness. Guinness is different in Ireland than it is in the United States. There are stages of pouring. When you come back from this trip, looking at the barman at the bar will never be the same. There isn't a drop spilt when those drinks are poured in Ireland. There's no like this and then it overpours. No, those barmen would be fired in Ireland if they were spilling drinks. The profits going out, right down the drains. It takes up to 20 to 30 minutes to pour a full glass of Guinness. It's an art, and you'll taste the art when you get to Ireland. Head and see some music that first night, rest up, relax. And day 3, we'll be heading out of Dublin, heading southbound, bound for Cork, the fishing town and port town of Cork, where many of Irish ancestors in the United States started their voyage from. And here we are heading to Cork. We'll be heading through Waterford along the way, home of the famous crystal. This is part of our journey of discovery. For those people who travel with me before, we always have some sections on the program. Yes, any company, you can see the sights of Dublin and you can kiss the Blarney Stone, but we're a big believer in learning a little bit about local economy, talking to local people, getting a little bit under and finding out the underbelly of a country a little more. So we're heading in for an educational experience of Waterford crystal. We'll see, yes, the hand-blown preparation of the crystal. We'll see the formation through to the grinding of it and the delicate engraving of it through to the showrooms themselves. The emphasis is always education and learning. But if you wish, yeah, there is a shopping component to it too if you wish to bring some home with you. Continuing after that, we might hit rush hour and there might be a few sheep on the road that we have to slow down for. And eventually we'll be arriving into Cork itself. A beautiful little fishing village, multicolored houses, family-run stores, and such things as that. Here we are in the main estuary after that. First night, relax, take it easy. Day 4 will find ourselves bound for the gift of eloquence, or as it's more commonly known, the gift of the gab, as we are going to Blarney Castle, where you can have the opportunity of kissing the Blarney Stone to get the gift of the gab. Now, we arrive at the Blarney Woolen Mills coach park, and from the Blarney Woolen Mills, it's a short walk along this stream here, arriving through to the castle itself. As we go in, and now this was not built as a handicapped accessible place. No, there are spiral staircases you must go up. If you want to get to the top, it's doable. We service the mature American community for their travel needs, and we've been operating this tour for quite some time. If you feel like you don't want to do that, you can sit down on park benches in and look at the castle. You can pop back to the Blarney Woolen Mills that has a lovely coffee shop with scones and fresh cream and strawberry jam, and you can sample something a little different. But I strongly encourage you to come through these gates and head up to the top, which we're looking at here. Now, as you can see, it is not a renovated castle. It's left as a shell. But as we're looking at the lady in red at the far end there, that's where the Blarney Stone is. It isn't easy to get the gift of the gab. They make you work for it. So as you see here, you have to lay down on the floor and bend backwards and kiss the stone. Now, so a lot of people have cheated. You can see it's a bit of a darker area high up. That is not the Blarney Stone. The Blarney Stone is the one at the bottom, the last one. So that's the one that you have to kiss. For our safety, they put some bars there so we don't drop through, but take a look. You can see somebody looking from the ground below up to somebody kissing the Blarney Stone. There's a great photo opportunity there, and it's fun. It's fun. And there's the stone itself. Here's the view of the grounds of Blarney Castle after that. After that, we'll go into the Blarney Castle, where there's something for everybody. Here we've got the famous Aran sweaters. The Aran sweaters, or as they're called in Ireland, jumpers. Because why? Jumpers are made from wool. Sheep jump walls, woolly jumpers. That's what a sheep is. So it's a jumper. But there's something for everybody of all different styles, all different qualities. You can actually get virtually indestructible sweaters here that can last 30, 40, it can last a lifetime, some of these sweaters. After that, yes, it's time to have a tipple. And we'll be learning about Irish whiskey. Historically, we go to the Jameson experience, and we'll be learning about famous Jameson whiskey. They'll be talking about Scotch. They'll be talking about that stuff across the pond called bourbon. And they'll be, of course, telling you how much better Irish whiskey is because it's distilled 3 times, not twice like Scotch is, and not only once like that bourbon is. So you'll be able to sample and see what it's like and find out if it is truly a wonderful, wonderful liqueur. We'll head into the plant itself. We'll learn how the whiskey is made. We'll see the vats, the brewing and such, and have some time to drink. And we'll have a tasting as well. The evening, time to relax in Cork. Maybe head out to the pubs. Pubs in Ireland are the best places to go, not just to meet people, to learn about local life, but to get the least expensive food, because the brewery companies want to get you into the pubs to drink their alcohol, their beers historically, or their liquors. So they have highly discounted food in the pubs. So it's a great place to go, get something to eat, have a tipple or two, and yeah, have a good time. Day 5, we'll be departing for the Killarney area, going through spectacular moorlands, dry stone walls, as we cross up onto the west coast. And here we've got those moorlands, heather fields, and heather patches throughout, black peaty streams and rivers. Peat is a black soil that this area is famous for, and here we've got the heather fields that we can see right there. It's a hardy shrub, low-lying shrub that is in the national parks we'll be arriving through to the Killarney Lakes, where historically we either stay in Killarney or Tralee whilst we're here. But this is spectacular countryside. We get the chance to experience something of the past as we have a jaunting ride. Here we've got a jaunting cart on the top corner, a two-wheeled vehicle. We'll be going around Killarney Park and viewing its and drinking in its beauty. Continuing on that evening, and we'll be having a pint in a local pub together. Some of you might feel, I'm not sure if I can go into a pub. Pubs are a must. You must frequent one a night, if not two a night or three a night, whilst you're here in Ireland. It's where you meet people. It's where you have a good time. The longer you're in the pub, the better time you have for some reason. I don't know why. Yes, you'll be able to meet the locals, find out about what's happening in their lives. You'll find somebody that's been sat in that same seat for the last 30 or 40 years. He might even have his name on the seat, as it is a tradition and it is part of the Irish culture, is to go to the pub. Could be music, gaieties and such. Day 6, we'll be continuing on, this time out of Killarney area and heading towards Galway, the city of the tribes, and we're heading up into the deeper into the west coast. Along the way, we'll be stopping in Adair with its thatched cottages, with its whitewashed walls, and this has been voted on numerous occasions the prettiest village in all Europe. And don't forget, as we're in the Republic of Ireland, we are in the European Union at this stage. Here we have some Frisian cows, typical cows for the area. And here's another shot at Adair itself. Continuing on, we're going to go to Bunratty Castle. Bunratty Castle is a renovated castle, back into the theme. And it also has a wonderful theme park at the side. And here we are into Bunratty Castle. You can see what life would have been like in the castle itself. Continuing on, we go into the folk park, where you'll learn a little bit about Irish life, houses, be able to talk to people about the Irish life as the past and they're in character. Eventually, we'll be arriving through to the Cliffs of Moher. These cliffs are spectacular walls of granite cascading down to the ocean floor, and it's often a quite fierce ocean below. This is the Atlantic. The next mass of land, as we look out to the west, is the United States. So it's a long, long way before the next landmass appears. It's a windy, blustery place. No trees at all. All the trees are blown away. It's sometimes a little bit windy here. There is a waterfall, and let's just see if I've got this picture. Somewhere round about here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, in that center section there, there's a little stream that comes down, and it cascades down the cliff face. I've seen it on numerous occasions. It cascades down the cliff face and comes back up again because the wind blows all the water back up, and it's a perpetual waterfall. It never seems to hit the bottom. And here's the viewpoint along the cliffs itself. Continuing, arriving into Galway, here we are, we're overnight in the city of Galway. It is a beautiful little Irish town. It brings back history of Ronald Reagan's family. The Kennedys too, and it's known for its extremely black river that flows through the middle of it, which is a highly peatified river. Day 7, we'll have a panoramic city tour of Galway before continuing on to Dublin. And here we are in downtown Galway itself, down the main shopping street. Fish and chip shops, Irish souvenir shops, general merchandise shops. Here we are in A's Square and the Kennedy Memorial right there, St. Nicholas's Church. And then we'll leave Galway behind and arrive to Connemoys. Connemoys dates back to the 6th century, and it's the Celtic religious capital. You'll find all the Celtic crosses and tombstones that you'll see in the area. And here you've got the Celtic cross right there and the Whispering Arch. We'll arrive back into Dublin that evening, late afternoon, early evening, and welcome back to Dublin. That evening, we'll have an Irish music and dance event. Time to get your dancing shoes on. Time for a spot of song and dance and local music. Day 8 will find us in Trinity College. Normally we would have gone into Trinity College and we'll be still seeing Trinity College, but the Book of Kells was indicated in the Trinity College. It's just moved out, but we'll see the famous Bridge of Sighs. Those people who have been to Venice, you might have seen the Bridge of Sighs. Those people who have been to Oxford, you might have seen the Bridge of Sighs. Here's the third one of the set at Trinity College, right here and now. Here we are now in the Book of Kells, and we'll be able to see the Book of Kells, which is a book dating back to 800 AD, which was made by monks, and it's been shown that the book and the monks must have had trading with the Mediterranean and even into further afield into Arabia as it was back then, because the minerals and the colors that the book is made from do not exist in the area. If you've seen the book before, don't worry, you'll see different pages because it's constantly changed so as not to break the back of the book. It's constantly moved and moved, so you see something different each time. It'll be time for a bit of refreshment again at this. Now we're going to learn how Guinness is made, and we're going into the Guinness factory and show house and to sample a Guinness. We'll learn about Guinness. We'll be seeing what it's made from. We'll be learning about the water properties. We'll be learning about the pouring properties too, and sampling a glass too. It's almost like cream. It is so rich. Afterwards, we'll go into Grafton Street, maybe some time to do a spot of shopping, last minute shopping for various things. And this evening, we'll be heading out again for another dinner and an entertainment. This time, we're going for the Irish storytelling. The Irish storytelling is very entertainment, although it is sometimes based on disasters. It's a little bit black. It's always about disasters and death and something such as that. So it's typically Irish, and it's wonderful, and it's all mixed together with a spot of music too. We might have a plague or two thrown in there with the stories as well. Have a drink, take it easy, and before we know it, we'll be at we'll have spent 7 nights in our first class hotels, and day 9 will be upon us, and we'll be flying back to New York for our bus to get back to Reading after that with, wait a minute, depart to the airport. And we certainly hope you'll join the chamber on a terrific trip to Ireland in 2024. Now, what do we get for the price of this particular trip? So we get round trip bus transportation from Reading and air from New York. We've got 7 nights in first class hotels. We've got 12 meals, which equates to daily breakfast and 5 dinners. So you get a lot of meals here. You've got all your touring. There's no optional tours on this program. So you've got, including your guiding fees, you've got City Tour of Dublin, you've got Epic Island, you've got Waterford Crystal Factory, Blarney Castle and Woolen Mills, you've got the Jameson Whiskey Distillery, you've got Jaunting Card and Killarney, you're having a pint in a pub, you've got the Dare Village, Bunratty Castle, the Folk Park, the Cliffs of Moher, Conor-Moyse, and you've got the Book of Kells, Trinity College, Guinness Factory. You've got the Irish music and song and dance event. We've got Temple Bar and Irish storytelling. Again, all tours are included, and there's some beautiful transfers that I didn't mention through some idyllic countryside too. We've got our cultural discovery series and journey of discovery. We've got the Epic Island visit, learning of the migration of the Irish. We've got the Irish Whiskey Distillery and Tasting Guinness Storehouse. And we've got storytelling, song and dance and folklore. What we've got on this program, it's unusual. So we've got a professional tour director, and it's a driver guide. Ireland, you have a driver and a guide at the same time. So they will be your tour director, guide, and driver in Ireland. Sometimes when we get to Dublin, for example, we'll pick up another what we call a step-on, step-off guide, but the most of the time your driver will be your guide and tour director. They sing, they dance, they tell jokes. Just make sure they don't dance while they're driving the bus. But they're wonderful, wonderful people, and you're going to have a wonderful time. First class motor coaches are throughout the program, baggage handling for one piece of luggage to go in and out of the hotels once you arrive. Now, for this price, it is $43.99 per person, double occupancy. That's an early bird discount price as long as you reserve your spot by March the 18th. After that, it goes up by $100 per person to hold on one moment. I've got a miss. Let me just double check. I've got something right or wrong here. It is, yes, I apologize. I've got a typo there. I'm giving away the package completely. I had to worry. I was worried there again. That price of $43.99, it goes up by $100 after that early bird deadline date to $44.99 per person. Single occupancy, add $6.99 per person, and for that single occupancy, there's no arguments on what you want to watch on the TV in the evenings. You can do whatever you want to. Fuel surcharges and taxes and fees on the land are included. $350 and $150 are included in that. Now, the bus, and again, as I said, we've never had an issue with this, but we need 20 passengers to have the bus from Reading on this particular program. Now, between 70 and 80% of all our travelers say, I'm already there, let me go somewhere else. So we're going to go to Belfast. We're leaving the European Union behind, heading into the United Kingdom. And when you wave goodbye to fellow Greater Reading travelers that decided so unwisely not to continue to Belfast, you'll be continuing on to Belfast, and you'll be heading north through the countryside and heading as the crow flies like that. We've got November the 12th through to the 14th, 2 nights in first class hotel. We've got breakfast and dinners included in the extension. You've got Malahide Castle, a city tour of Belfast, Giant's Causeway, and the Titanic experience. Our professional driver and guide will be continuing on with you. We've got our deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches, a baggage handling, and it is $6.99 per person double occupancy and $9.98 single supplement. Malahide Castle will be our first port of call. Malahide Castle, the most haunted location in Europe, will be our first stop. It's a stately home. It comes with armor, coats of arms and armor throughout the stately home itself. Spectacular architecture within, ornamental gardens. You've got the greenhouses with the exotic plants and such things as that, and then carrying on to Belfast, where you'll see the Albert Clock, the Opera House, Queen's University, the Harland and Wolff Shipyard, which we'll come back to in a little bit in a short while. So we're going to see the Titanic experience right here. Most people don't know that the Titanic, before its disastrous journey on its maiden voyage, started its time in Belfast. That's where it started its journey, went down to Southampton, picked up its second lot of crew and passengers, and then went across the Atlantic. It is said by the time it left Belfast, it was already doomed because there was a fire on board. There's a fabulous, if you want to get into the documentary on it, go onto YouTube or try and Google the documentary on your computer that talks about the fire that actually caused the disaster. It wasn't just the iceberg. But we'll be heading in and learning about the Titanic. There are reproductions of the actual ship itself, the main staircases, the first class quarters, stowage class, and such things as that as we go through. After that, day 10, back to the hotel, relax, take it easy. Day 10, we'll be heading into the Giant's Causeway. For those people who've been to California and seen the Devil Piles posts and the national park, this is Ireland's equivalent. You'll see hexagon volcanic rocks heading into the water. We know it's caused by a volcanic activity centuries upon centuries ago, but mythology has it that there was a fight between two giants, an Irish giant and a Scottish giant. And as the Irish giant, as the Scottish giant was fleeing, get back to Scotland, his footprints created all these unusual steps in the ground. But it is a spectacular location, beautiful environment. And here we can see some of those steps. Before we know it, we have spent 2 nights in in Belfast, and we will be coming back to Dublin after that. All roads lead to Dublin in Ireland, and most flights to the US. It's better to go out of Dublin. So we'll be coming back out of Dublin, not Belfast, because if we go through Belfast, that means we've got to go to London, and then London on. We'll be going out of Belfast and flying back with spectacular memories of the Irish countryside, with a warm and inviting people, with cultural traditions and music far different than here we have in the US. Now, to get to Ireland, it's relatively easy. Passport, 6 months left on it, 2 blank pages, 6 months from the last day of your trip, whether it's a Belfast Exchange or the main program, and 2 blank pages. That's all you'll need to get on this particular, excuse me, I've got hiccups, on this particular program. Dear. Nice and easy. Now, I believe you've all seen the brochure. I got a sneaking feeling that it has been emailed to you. And how do you sign? You sign, how do you get the, first of all, you can look at this most concise brochure. It's a 4-page document. You've got the included features, the day-to-day and everything such as that. To sign up for the trip, you click on this link right here, and this is what appears. It is, and there's only a fraction of it right here, but this is an HTML format. You've got about the trip, you got highlights, you've got Rachel's contact information, you got the price, and as you scroll down further down this, you've got the day-to-day plan and such. But we've got 3 buttons here. We'll talk about the green in a moment, but we've got download the brochure. If you want to download the brochure, you can click this gray button right here, drop in your email, and the brochure will be emailed to you. Do keep in mind, it's not quite as eco-friendly as the one you've got in your hand. If you do download that one, it kills a few trees because it creates large pictures. So if you're saving it to your computer, it's perfectly fine. If you're printing it up, there's lots of pages incorporated in it. Ask a question. Yeah, you can click on that box and you can ask a question. And it comes to us as it comes to Rachel too. Or you can just, we've got Rachel's email and telephone number there on the HTML format too, if you want to just give her a call or email. Click on the select, and this is how you would reserve. And this is what pops up. What we wanted to do with our booking engine, we've noticed, and I'm sure you have, the amount of Amazon Prime trucks that's out there on the road today. I think there's more Amazon Prime trucks out there than kids in today's day and age. There seems to be a population burst of Amazon Prime trucks. So this is the booking engine. Our criteria was to make our booking engine as easy as the Amazon Prime shopping cart. We need a little bit more information than Amazon. So it's a little bit more information, but we believe we've done a fabulous, fabulous job in making it easy. Once you click on that green button, this is what appears. And this is the how much. This is the order. So it always arrives at 0, 0 in the pull downs. Each one of those squares, which has a 0, is a pull down. I'm going to start with here, 2. This is a husband and wife or 2 people that want to go on the trip, sharing the same room, and it's one payment. Somebody's going to pay for both people. We've got 2 people in a double room. We got 2 people going to Belfast. Every time you put an order in and you make a 1 or a 2 on the left-hand side, it changes on the right-hand side. It's dynamic. So it always changes. So what you would need to reserve your spot is an $800 deposit per person. And if you want to go to Belfast, we require the Belfast payment at the time of reservation too. That's what that is there for 2 people. Now, we'll talk about payment amounts in a moment. So that's easy when there's 2 people going and there's only 1 person paying. In the past, we've had a situation that there might be 2 individuals sharing the same room, but you each want to pay by your own form of payment. This is what this is for now. So now you'll notice in the pull down, there's only 1 person in a double occupancy room. That sounds a little counterintuitive. But the reason it is, there is going to be 2 people in that room, but this is the order. This means that this is hypothetically Alice Smith and Jane Jones are sharing their room together, but each wants to make their own payment. So Jane is filling this out. Only 1 person am I paying for. So there's 1 person in a double occupancy room, 1 person going to Belfast in a double occupancy. Didn't indicate single because they're not singles, okay? And as we get to the name page, I'll show you the difference in a moment between 2 people and 1 person filling this out. As we get down to the payment options, it's either deposit, an extension if selected. If it's no extension, it's just deposit, or it's full payment. You select which one you want to do by toggling between those 2 circles right there. Once you've done that, you press continue. And now we get into the passenger information page. Notice here, it says passenger, it says 1 and passenger information. I'm giving you the example of Jane and June sharing the room together and going to make payments individually. If this was, and I can only see Mike and the lady at the side of you. So if this was you, and I'm assuming that's your wife, and I can't hear if it's not anyhow, but I'm assuming that, if you were to do this, and Mike, you're going to pay for everything, it would have number 1 participant information. You'd fill your name out, and then there'd be another one that says 2 participant information. Okay, it's easy. That's the only difference between the process. But right now, I'm talking about Jane and June filling this out. There are starred sections. You can see it's a little bit of an orange dot. It's actually a star. So these are required. First name, last name, email address, home address, city, town, state, zip code, contact phone, date of birth, a name that as it appears exactly on your passport. You'll be surprised how many people don't know their own name. I say that in jest. They might go by Ray all their life, but they didn't realize that name on the passport is Raymond. So please look to see what is your name as it appears in your passport. It is a starred box. Now, as you look down here a little bit further, passport number and issue date is not starred. Why? Well, because you might be one of those people that have to go out and grab another passport. It might be running out, the validity might run out by the time of that return date of your trip back from Ireland. In that case, we don't want you to give us an expired passport that you're going to get a new one. But unless you're getting married, unless you are specifically changing your name, your old passport and your new passport will have the same name there, unless you make that decision. So your name here, exactly as it appears in your passport, is okay. Once your new passport comes in, then you can get your new passport to us, but the name should stay the same. And here's the expiration date. If you have a fully valid passport throughout the trip, please do give us your passport number, the issue date, the expiration date. Please do. Nice and easy. After that, you can see a box with a blue square around it. Upload. You can upload by clicking on that. It opens up a window in your computer. And if you have a picture of your passport on your computer, you can attach it to the reservation there and then. Nice and easy. Now, room types. If you wanted single, tick that box. If you wanted double, one bed, tick that box. As I'm giving you the example of Jane and June, most probably they would tick double, 2 beds. Now it's Jane, they're sharing the room, but 2 separate beds in there. And straight underneath there, it says the roommate's name. So if Jane Smith is filling this out, she'll put June Jones in there, and vice versa. So now we know who's sharing each room. Air gateway. Yes, air is included out of New York on this particular program. If you want air out of New York, this is a guaranteed, this is a starred field. You have to fill it out. Yes, I'm on the air is out of New York. I will be flying out of New York. You might have family. You don't have to be from the Reading area. You might have family in Florida. You might have friends in California or Washington State who want to come with you. They may say, no, well, obviously, they're not going to come out to Reading. So fly me out of XYZ destination. So they'd tick the second section there that says, please accommodate my trip from an alternate airport. And in the notes section, they'll tell us what that airport is. And we'll come back to them on a price. Lastly, I've got, it doesn't say this, but I've got oodles of air miles and I don't need any international air at all. And $700 a discount per person, and you do your own air. Tick that box if that's what you want. Notes underneath there, your TSA pre-number, global entry number underneath there if you wish, dietary needs if you wish. We live in a very, very fast and paced environment in today's age, and sometimes we may forget when the final payment is. And in this case, you don't have to worry about it, because you can just take the first circle there that says enroll in auto billing. If you enroll in auto billing, you will be automatically charged 131 days before you go. And you don't even have to be in country. As long as you got enough funds on your credit card or in your bank account, it's done. You don't have to think about it at all. If you don't want that, you just tick no, I prefer manual payment terms. Okay. Lastly, the terms and conditions are there. Click on that blue line and read the terms and conditions, and then click yes once you've read those and press continue. Nearly finished, everybody. And then you can ask questions. Here we now have the payment section. So once you press continue before, now there's 2 ways to pay. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. Fill out the card number, expiration date, CVG number, and the billing details. As soon as you press confirm, it's automatic. It's charged to your card automatically. And see, again, notice on the right-hand side, those figures continue with you from screen to screen to screen. So you know how much you're going to be charged. Okay? Easily done. I'll come to what happens once you press confirm in a moment. But also, you don't have to, unless you really want to, head to the chamber to deliver a personal check. You don't need to do that personal check any longer. You can pay by e-check, or you can pay by a checking account. So instead of paying by credit card, you would click on add an additional payment method, and it pulls up US checking account. You can't see it there, but when you're online, it's a good picture. You can see a picture right there in the middle of the blue square, and that's a personal check. It shows you where the routing number is, where the account number is on your personal check, and then you can fill out the boxes, the name of the account, the routing number, account number, and confirm the account number in there. And in this scenario, as soon as you press confirm booking, $14.99 will be charged to your checking account. Okay. Now, once you've done that, please notice this arrow, and it says powered by WeTravel. This is important. When you're getting your credit card bill or when you're looking at your checking account, the charge does not come from Quest Voyager. It comes from our merchant account, which is WeTravel. Okay, so that's what the charge will be. In some cases, it's WTravel too, just to spice life up a little bit and to create a change. So that's what you've got right there. Okay, as soon as you press that confirm, two things happen. One, a pop-up appears. In that pop-up, it says, thank you for reserving. It has your invoice. It has Rachel's contact details for any questions. And it also has a banner in there to click on to inquire about travel insurance. If you have really fierce pop-up blocker or spam protection, then that pop-up may never appear. It might be somewhere in your protection, but don't worry about it, because immediately the said same time an email appears to you, and that goes into your inbox. If it isn't there, guess where it is? It's in your spam. Within 20 seconds, if it hasn't appeared, then look at all your spam boxes. Sometimes you might have 2 spam boxes, but it's there. You're talking to a computer. It didn't go for lunch. It didn't go for a bathroom break. It's there. I guarantee it, somewhere in your email server. Okay. And the same information is there. Okay. So once you've got that, then here we now are in the insurance. If you've listened to me before, you've heard this 1,001 times. I hope you all take out insurance, and I hope you all waste your money on it. The time you don't take out insurance is usually the time you need it. As soon as you press that banner, this picture appears, and you can get your quote, a free quote on your insurance. And if you wish to, you can buy it there and then. There are 2 ways to get the insurance, 2 styles of insurance. Cancel for a reason. And cancel for a reason includes cancel for the trip due to medical, due to accident and death. Not great choices. Trip interruption, travel delays, misconnections, air and cruise, baggage and personal effects, baggage delays, medical emergency evacuation and dental emergency evacuation, repatriation, accidental death and disbursement. Not great options. Again, don't try them. Pre-existing conditions, 24-hour worldwide assistance on the program itself. Okay. Again, well worth taking it out, but you can actually stick a cancel for any reason policy to that too. If you want to take that step and enhance that policy that's in red bullets, you can pay a little bit more and get cancel for any reason. And cancel for any reason says exactly what it is. Cancel for any reason. You might be a lawyer and you got the case of a lifetime, and you've got to go, and you got to stay for it. The dog might not want you to go. You get a bad haircut. You don't want to be seen out in public. Lots of reasons for cancel for any reason. This gives you control on whether you go or not. And as long as we recommend you get it out at the time of initial payment, but as long as you cancel your trip no later than 48 hours before you go, you would be covered by cancel for any reason. And for that, you'll get 75% back of any money that's paid, that you've paid on the trip. Okay. It's well worth taking it out. You will have car insurance. You have house insurance, medical insurance. We pay through the nose for the medical insurance in this country, as we all know that. But hopefully you waste your money each year on those insurances. And I strongly encourage you to do the same thing with travel insurance too. Now, this is a policy that you can pay extra to protect you. And if you don't go, it's covered by cancel for any reason. Now, there is one policy that Quest Voyager gives you free of charge. We want to give you the assurance to put X on the calendar to be able to say, okay, I want to go to Ireland in November. And how do we do that? So from today, if you decide to reserve today, all the way up to 131 days before you go, you will get a full money back guarantee of all money given to Quest Voyager, your extension, your deposit. Okay. That will be no questions asked. You'll send an email to Rachel and she'll forward it on to us, and we will then initiate the cancellation policy, the refund, should I say, sorry. Now, the only thing you don't get back, however, is the travel insurance, because it's already working on your behalf. So I do, again, say to you, walk into the fact of, I've already wasted my money on that insurance, because by hook or by crook, I hope I don't need to use it. But do get it. It's the time you don't take it out is usually the time that you need it. And that's our presentation. Any questions, please? I don't have any, I think, on the, oh, I do. I've got 6. Sorry about that. Let me look. Let's start. We're starting in 5. Yes. Grab your pints, even better. Seems tasty. Oh my goodness, there's some good stuff here. Let's see if we've got a question. Okay, we have some great memories from Bun Ratty. So yes, we don't have any questions. We just have comments. Anybody got any questions, please? And if you wish, you know, you can unmute yourself, and we'll try our best to answer them in that way too.
Ian, I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So what is the weather that we should expect in November?
Yeah, that's a great question. Now, bluntly, Mike, I'm assuming you're Mike and you haven't stolen somebody's Zoom account.
I am Mike, and this is my wife. Yes.
Okay, it is. Okay, good. So if I could accurately tell you what the weather is, I wouldn't be sat here, because I could tell you what the lottery tickets are on each week, and I'd be a bazillionaire right now. But if we look at history, and if we gauge it on history, and who knows, it may be that we're looking, Ireland never gets too cold. It is the first landmass coming across the Atlantic. It can get windy. It can get cool in the mornings. Yes, it isn't green because they paint the landscape that color. So there is what they call liquid sunshine, and that liquid sunshine can happen any day of the year, whether it be Christmas Day, whether it be the 4th of July, whether it be November when we're traveling there. So historically, it's going to be in those high 40s, mid 50s to mid 60s in the day. You never know, we might get a spot of luck and we might get into a 70s. But sooner than to dwell too much on what it could be, I'm a big believer. This is we operate a lot this time of year. It's more of a layered destination type of an event. So nothing too heavy. You know, I can't say what the weather would be, but if you take layered clothing, sweatshirts, t-shirts, light jackets, maybe an umbrella or a raincoat, you'll be set. And that's the best way I could answer it. You know, before you go, you could drop on the 10-day forecast on the Weather Channel, and who knows, it could be that. I was in Croatia this December, and it was going to rain every day of the week that I was going to be there, and it only rained for about a couple of hours. So again, it's still a work in process, the weather forecast, but that should give you an idea.
Okay, appreciate that. You know, I do have another question, but I don't want to.
Go on.
I don't want to monopolize that. But so, what airline would we be taking?
Yeah. So right now, if you for those people who've traveled with us before, we don't release the airlines just yet. We've got a couple of airlines set for you. I think right now we're on a United passage. We're on United. It is subject to change because the airlines don't know where they're flying tomorrow, never mind in November. And we don't release information because our life would be communicating airline changes if we did it. By the time you leave on this trip, the schedule will have changed 3, 4, 5 times. So when the airline can't change any longer, we then release the schedule. But it will be unless the airlines stop it, it will be a direct flight into Dublin.
So Ian, my wife and I travel American most of the time. Is American one of the airlines you're considering?
American isn't really one of the airlines we're considering just because of your location and to where you're going. It's not one of the prevalent airlines. Now, importantly, if there is somebody that has, I'm frank in all conversations, there are true values in group travel and there's advantages. That everything's taken care for you. You've got somebody to look after you. You've got hotels, meals, tours and everything. But sometimes you lose a little bit of your power. And where do you lose your power is on the airlines, because you can't dictate which airline you're going to go and which routing you want to go. If you're one of those that is a high frequent flyer with an airline, or you have to be on a specific flight, I encourage you to click that last box, which is I'll make my own air passage and do your own air. If you're a particular air traveler, is what I would class you as. If not, I think historically this is a United schedule.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Any other questions?
And we did have some in the chat. One was, we need euros for Ireland. Do we need pounds for Belfast?
You do, yes. So yes, you will need euros. Both of these currencies are pretty easy to gain. You can get. They probably got them in the local bank in the vault, both euros and pounds. If not, they'll be able to order them quite quickly. If you feel naked arriving in Ireland without euros, grab some before you go. But you'll be able to get, there's ATMs everywhere around in this area. So you'll be able to you'll be able to get money out of the ATM when you're in Ireland. And that's usually the best place I recommend to get them. If you talk to your ATM issuing company, I think you'll find that just double check. Some of them don't even charge for using overseas ATM machines. It's usually the best and the cheapest way to get money.
The next question is, how many hotels do we stay at in Ireland?
Yes.
I think 3 or 4.
So we've got Dublin, we've got Killarney, and we've got Cork, we've got the Killarney area, we've got Galway, and then we come back to Dublin again. So we've got 5 moves on this program, which is a little bit different than our normal programs. As you many of you have traveled with us before, whenever humanly possible, we have 1 move. It's just not possible to be done in Ireland. The infrastructure, the size of the width of the roads, you can't do the same thing as in Europe. So you can't be doing 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. There is a freeway, but it doesn't go very far. It's not very long, and the rest are all A and B roads. So you have to be a little slower and take your time on those roads. So yes, there's 4 specific hotels, but there'll be five moves because we'll be in the same hotel in Dublin twice.
And the last question in the chat is, November in tourist season or out of season?
It's never out of tourist season. So November is still within tourist season. Ireland is never out of tourist season. They've done a wonderful job in marketing their country. Is it in the height of tourist season? No. And I wouldn't want to be in Ireland in the height of tourist season anyhow, because everything is full. To take the the steps up to the Kiss the Blarney Stone. It could be a 90-minute wait. So there are true advantages in going in November. We get nice hotels, we get easy airline passage, we get value for money. But I think the biggest thing is that we're in a country that isn't full of every tourist from every part of the world right in front of us, and we have to be on our tiptoes 10 deep trying to see something looking over the top of people's heads.
I have another question, sorry, but
Sure.
the information we got said 9 days trip and 8 nights, and then it said first class accommodations for 7 nights.
Yeah.
We miss it a night, or we sleeping on the yard?
It's that computer. That computer, it cannot distinguish. So it has to work as a calendar. So again, our booking engine counts days and nights. In the tourism industry, really, if we could build the computer to not to go with calendar, it would be a 9 days, 7 nights. You only have 7 bed nights. There is a night going overseas on the plane. So that's the night.
Yeah.
I don't like to call that a night. So we don't call it a night and say, 7 nights in a hotel, 1 night on a plane. No, but that's where the night is.
Yeah, you gave me the same answer as my wife gave me, but I thought I'd ask you anyhow. But no,
He
I
emailed me and said, make sure I say this before the presentation.
I at least want to say you did a exceptional presentation here.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm sure there's questions that we would all have, but I just wanted to make sure that I said that. I mean, it was very informative. It was complete, and appreciate that very much.
No worries. And there's more, So, once you've reserved, Rachel and the Chamber and Quest Voyager take extra care of you. So we'll be having a pre-departure meeting too, where we're going to be answering a lot more of those questions about the specific destination and about money, exchange rate, ATMs, weather, what to take, etc., etc. Okay, and that's going to be give or take around about 30 days before we go.
Hi, Ian. Danielle Hathaway here. Thank you for the presentation. I had 2 questions with my notes, and you covered all my other ones with the other questions asked.
Okay.
I'm new to traveling outside of the country, and I'm not familiar with TSA travel pre-check.
Yeah.
And if you're with a group, I'm just asking if it would be easier with the group if you already have it, because nobody wants to stand in a 2-hour TSA line when everybody else is walking.
Yeah. So,
and if it takes time to get, I'd like to get ahead of that, and I'll do it early.
I would encourage you to apply for anybody that travels often overseas. I'm going to encourage you to go online now, straight after the presentation, and enroll in Global Entry. Global Entry means that when you come back into the country, you don't have to, in most cases now, you don't even show your passport. The immigration officer just waves you through. The last 2, I haven't even done anything. He's looked at me and said Global Entry, and I've just gone through. So it is quicker to get through and less hassle. So you don't have to join that snake that goes around and around waiting for the immigration to take your passport. Now, it does take time, and I've crossed my finger because there's also something I want to talk about with this specific trip. So it takes time, and you will have to have an interview. Now, the best one to get is that Global Entry, because you get TSA Pre as part of that. If you just apply for TSA Pre, you don't get Global Entry, and TSA Pre means that you just join the line quick to go through domestic. It has nothing to do with international coming back. So get Global Entry, and you get both thrown in, and it is well worth it. Now, the only issue here, and I'd still recommend you get it, whether it comes in time or not, it's another question, but it's still, I recommend you get it. But because we are catching a bus to come back, you might be through quicker than people that don't have global entry. So you might wait a little bit longer to get on the bus, but I would sooner be outside the airport drinking a Dunkin' Donuts, waiting for people to come sooner than to be in that snake and just keep going
Absolutely.
around that snake. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ian. I appreciate it. And then my other easy question, GRCA member, if I wanted to bring a significant other with me, do they need to be a GRCA member? No. Thank you, Rachel.
And if I may, I can expand on that because I know Rachel's answer here. You know, you've got family members in, as I said, family members in LA, friends in Seattle. Yeah, invite them.
Ian, I actually have one more question, but it's for Rachel, not you.
Yep.
If we need help filling out that form, Rachel, is there somebody at the chamber that we could talk to if we had questions once we get into the form?
Very much so. I'm your go-to.
You're a great
I will
go-to.
be here all the way through, and I can help you with anything you need, be that middle person to get you answers from the insurance company or Ian, anything you need.
Well, you always do a great job, so that'll be great.
Oh, thank you. And then as well, if like something is needed in Ireland, or for instance, someone that went 2 years ago had a bad hip and they were afraid that he might not be able to walk the whole piece. So we made sure a wheelchair was reserved for him and went really above and beyond just to make sure that he could still enjoy the trip with us. Thankfully, it wasn't needed in the end, but whole way through.
The last question, I promise. Is it possible to get a list of who has at least signed up for the information session? Because when we went to Italy, as an example, the people they went with were absolutely fantastic, and it would be great to know who's considering doing this.
I think that would be okay. I can say that 85% of the attendees have been past travelers. It's the same group.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If anybody got any more questions, or forever hold your peace? No. So again, I encourage you to come along with Rachel and the chamber on this. Use that 131 days to your advantage. There's more than just the Greater Reading Chamber on the date. Every year there are people that procrastinate too long and they wait and they don't sign up and they get involved in a wait list. A wait list can happen. So what we're looking for, one bus is between 42, 44 people. And once that bus is full, we wait for between 10 and 15 people before we open a second bus. Sometimes the second bus doesn't appear. So if you want to be on the first bus, please, if you know you want to go, sign up sooner than later, and get yourself on that bus. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere. If anybody's got another question.
Oh,
There you go.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Right.
That was my daughter yelling, "Hi, Gran." I didn't realize it would happen after I unmuted. Thank you so much. Very excited. If you do have any extra questions, happy to send them to me and I'll get them over to Ian and we'll get them answered for you immediately. Here to be your concierge. So please ask anything that you need. We will be sharing this recording following the event. So tomorrow or Thursday, I will be emailing it out to everyone, including 10 other people who weren't able to attend today. So there was great interest. I will share with you, Mike, and that's not the first time I've been asked something like that because the repeat travelers do enjoy traveling together. So I will definitely be sending out the recording so you can watch this again and share it with your friends as well if there are other couples or singles that you think would have fun in Ireland with us.
Thank you, Rachel. Be careful. I hear it's maybe a bit snowy out there, so be careful if you've got to go somewhere tonight, and look forward to having you with us in Ireland. Take care, everybody.
Thanks so much, Ian. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.